About 70% of adults globally have experienced trauma significant enough to lead to health issues later in life. I actually think that number is a lot higher than 70%. They did a study on Australian war veterans, people who were not deployed and people who were deployed to the Vietnam War. The ones who were deployed to the Vietnam War, 39% of them had PTSD symptoms. The adult children of those deployed veterans, about 40 years later, they were more likely to have been treated for depression by 54%. They were more likely to have been treated for anxiety by 77%. And they were more likely to have made suicidal plans or engaged in self-harm in the previous 12 months by 252%. So that 39% goes up precipitously in the next generation. Inherited chi, ancestral chi, says that you can inherit anything from your parents and they from their parents, so on and on it goes, whether that's hair color, eye color, sense of humor, or in this case, trauma. After successfully surviving a trauma, we are drawn to repeat the trauma cycle over and over again because we want to feel like we have learned everything we need to learn from that trauma. This is why people are going, why am I dating the same person who's a jerk when I didn't do it on purpose? I deliberately chose somebody who was not like that person. The subsequent generations had an adverse reaction. They would tremble, they would twitch, they had PTSD for that smell. Nobody tends to think, gosh, it must be from 70 years ago. We just think it's us, there's something wrong with us. Or it's them, there's something wrong with them. But either way, we're not looking at where the real problem is. Trauma is anything that you are not well resourced enough in the moment to completely process.
So anything that creates a sense and an awareness of feeling disconnected from self-worth is traumatic. That changes the dynamics of the way trauma is diagnosed. When we land in that space consistently and start to look at ourselves in that way, it starts to become much easier to look at others that way. Well, yeah, okay, some crummy stuff happened. Some really terrible things went down. But it's nobody's fault. Everybody was trying to do the best they understood how to do under the moral structures and the cultural codes of when they existed.
The fact that your ancestors got through trauma, the fact that you have gotten through trauma makes you better, smarter, faster, stronger. Knowing the story, knowing it comes from somewhere and that, okay, there's a reason for this. That is so soothing. That is cool water on a hot day. That is a balm for the soul.